might be them.
So Shaka just said 3, maybe 4. Who really is for you, Ian, in the title race next season?
I think, obviously, Liverpool, who'll be favourites, and rightly so. Manchester City will bounce back, not least because they've got Rodri and the new additions. And I think they've got the eye of the tiger about restating their case. Obviously, Arsenal as well. And I would include Chelsea, because if they've won this World Club Championship in the summer and made themselves £80 million or whatever it was, if they're not title contenders, and they're trying to tell us already that maybe they're not, well, was it only about the money? If they're the World Club champions, they're in the English title race.
How dare you think that it was just about the money? Yeah. How could it be that it's just about the money?
Okay,
No
you've
comment.
been away. We've been waiting for your take on Hugo Ekitike to Liverpool. Obviously, you've seen Hugo Ekitike very closely, covering the Bundesliga as closely as you do LA. What do you think of this move?
Okay, as we do.
As we all do. Correct.
And so I like the variety that he gives a team like Liverpool. He's a player that can be flexible, that can come from wide areas, can work underneath, can be a striker as well, works really well with other strikers around him. Him and Marmoush worked really well at Eintracht Frankfurt. So I can imagine that I can see a scenario by which he can get around players in Liverpool and understand what his role is. Seems to be very good at figuring out, okay, where can I be most dangerous? How can I combine with my teammates? He is a part of a totality of a group. He's not just one individual player, and he proved that time and time again at Eintracht Frankfurt, and I think he would do that really well at Liverpool.
Do you like this move, Ian?
Yeah, I've watched Ekitike, probably not as much as Ali, because I don't see the Bundesliga every single week, but I have seen him playing in Europe, and I like the look of him. I think, you never want to make the comparison or put the pressure under a player of saying he's like Thierry Henry. But there's something about him that does remind you of Thierry Henry. He's lithe, he's quick, and Ali's just described his qualities. He can score with both feet. I mean, he was at Paris Saint-Germain at the same time as Messi and the superstars, Mbappe, etc. Couldn't get in the team there, but he's blossoming. He's graduating all the time. Liverpool's recruitment campaign and the way that they assess players is very, very good. They're not making that many mistakes in the market. They obviously wanted Alexander Isak, hence the cheeky inquiry to Newcastle. They didn't get too much encouragement with that phone call, so they quickly switched Ekitike, who is obviously delighted and doing cartwheels with the move. So, I mean, it's an expensive move, but he's only 23. So you're talking about a decade, possibly, of potential from Ekitike. I think he'll come off.
You're saying that about Isak, though, Ian. There are still reports out there that they could still try for Alexander Isak, even with the players they've got. What do you think of those?
Well, we don't know what Isak himself is thinking. Intriguingly, Newcastle left him at home and they played that friendly up in Scotland the other day. And we were told, we were given reasons by Eddie Howe that didn't sound that convincing. So, there's a bit of smoke. What does he want? What does his agent want? I suppose, it's football. It could still happen. But where would it leave Ekitike if Isak walks through the door, and where would it leave several other players who now have really got to fight for their place at Liverpool, even the people who won the title for them last season? Is there a place, for instance, for Dominic Szoboszlai in the midfield with Wirtz arriving? So the competition there would be through the roof if Isak arrived as well.
Why were you shaking your head?
Isak's not going anywhere. I've decided.
Oh, you've decided?
I've decided.
Have you talked to some people?
I've spoken to a few people.
Yeah?
None of them have anything to do with Newcastle, but I said a couple of days ago, I think Isak moving was depending on Ekitike coming to St. James's Park. Once Ekitike said he's only going to Liverpool, that put an end to that. That put an end to
the Liverpool move. What about a move to Saudi Arabia, where they could meet any very high wage demands that the player may have?
Well, then it will take quite a healthy buyout from a Newcastle perspective. Listen, given what Alexander Isak means to that football club right now, both in terms of playing and in terms of his personality, his standing within the city, I do not see how Newcastle let Alexander Isak go right now, and unless there's a ready-made replacement. And I don't think there is. I think with the sale of Ekitike, with the sale of Gyökeres, I'm not sure that there's a replacement to be had in this transfer window. So for me, it's any potential move for Alexander Isak is out this window.
Oh. Isak and Ekitike in the same team for Liverpool.
No, it's not happening, Kay. I keep telling you that.
How would it work if it were to happen?
Well, I just said that Ekitike does really well in playing together with another striker. However, it would demand a change in formation in terms of what Liverpool had been doing last season under Arne Slot, and I don't think that's going to happen. And so it would feel as if though, in terms of leading the attack, it would be Ekitike or Isak, not both of them. And the only option that I would figure out if I were Arne Slot is that I would send out Ekitike out to the left or Isak to the left and the other down the middle. Maybe that's the way it works for them. Maybe that's the way they squeeze it. But I think you're trying to squeeze too many pieces, and you're changing a Liverpool team that was very successful last season. I understand when there's a talent like Florian Wirtz out there that you go and get him. I understand that you get Ekitike or Isak. But when you start getting the two of them, and you're trying to squeeze all these pieces together, what are you sacrificing in order to squeeze these pieces? If I'm Arne Slot, I don't feel like I have to chase it. This was a really successful team last season. The arrival of the few players they've already signed, I think, should be enough not only for them to repeat, but then put themselves in a better position in Europe as well.
Yeah, it's hard to look past them with those transfer signings, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah, it is. But I think there's a little bit of a question mark in defence, if there is a question mark. They've lost Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid. What effect might that have with his laser-guided passing? Kirkes on the other side, if they've got from Bournemouth, and with a new left-back, you assume, ahead of Andy Robertson. Both of those like to fly forward. That leaves a lot of pressure on Van Dijk and Konate behind them there. And I think they're a bit short in that central defensive area, at the moment, because Kwanzaa's gone to Germany. Joe Gomez is injury prone, so they better hope nothing happens to Konate or Van Dijk, or they better go out and buy Yahi. I think he's a great buy for them. His contract's up at Crystal Palace, England defender, one of the best, I think, in the Premier League. And I think that's the move I could see Liverpool making.
Shaka continues to press refresh on our transfer talk page over on ESPN.com, just ensuring that Alexander Isak is sticking around at Newcastle. You can keep up to date yourselves by visiting our website. And of course, all the transfer talk and a lot more is over on our YouTube channel, ESPN FC. Be sure to click subscribe while you're there if you haven't already.
There
he is.
Hey, hard-working Shaka Hislop.